Hey guys, today we are going to start working on writing our questions for our research project. Now that you've chosen your final topic, we are moving forward in your creation of your research. So I always told you guys that we're going to start with very specific things. So we're going to start with where we were. So you guys can see on our research process where we are. We were in the choose category. We generated our possibilities through our nonfiction walk. We then narrowed it into our top 5, and then we narrowed it into our final one. Throughout this entire time, you've been getting input from your teachers about your final topics, and some of you might have revised and edited your topics. And we also improved our process when we talked about our fake news. Now, today, we're going to be in our plan category. And we're going to when I say today, this actually might be over the next couple of weeks because we're going to kind of move through some of these and you're going to move through them with different videos and getting started. So today, I'm going to work with you guys on writing your questions. So you're going to write your own questions about that will kind of push where your research wants to go. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. We are also going to you're going to progress into your search. You're actually going to start doing your research to answer the questions that you've written. And throughout all of this, remember, we are always reflecting. Okay. Now, when we do this again, we're actually going to be doing the exact same thing because we're going to write our level 2 questions and then our level 3 questions. And that's kind of where we are. And we're going to talk what those different levels are, but we're going to be doing a lot of good chunk of our research in the next couple of weeks and possibly months. So we're going to be talking about what leveled research questions are. Many of you guys, whether it be in your classes right now or possibly in elementary school, you guys did where y'all each read different books. Y'all did book talks. Y'all did so that you guys, when y'all wrote questions about your books, like a group of you all read the same book, you guys could write questions. That's what this is going to look like. Leveled research questions we're using this term from ILA. It's the same type of questions you would write during this time. So level 1 questions are on the lines. Level 2 questions are between the lines, and level 3 questions go beyond the lines. Now, we're going to go through each one of these step by step. So instead of explaining it to you now, I'm going to explain it to you as we come to them. So let's start with level 1 questions on the lines. These are the type of questions that there's an exact answer to the question. It doesn't matter if I look it up, you look it up, or someone else looks it up. All the answers are the same. 2 plus 2 equals 4. It comes to the same answer with everyone. It requires no opinion of anybody. These are those questions that you can put your finger on the answer. You can answer it and you can say, this is the answer right here. And it doesn't matter what area you go to, what source you use, the answers should stay the same. So those are the type of questions we're going to write. Now, these are also questions that I believe are who and what questions. Where questions, when questions. Those are the types of questions we're going to answer. Again, the questions you can put your finger on. Now, I'm going to walk step by step through this with you in following videos for each separate, because you're going to write each separate question, because you're going to write 4 different questions for this. But first thing I'm going to do is I want to show you the research organizer you're going to use. Let me show that to you. This is actually something that we use across the board. If I do research in any classes, this is what I use. It's so simple to use. It's so simple. It's very straightforward in what you're doing. So let me explain what this looks like. First off, this will always be in a Google slide presentation. It will be a single slide for each question, and it will each have its own slide presentation, if you will. The reason I do that is because even if you make it, the table goes longer because you're typing your notes in, it will stay on one Google slide, which I really like, okay? It doesn't change it doesn't move down the page or anything. And I like that it will stay all in one place. Also, so here's how you would do it. First off, right here, you would write your question. You will be able to click on this side of the colon, and you're going to type in your question. It is very important in all things that you do with this, in all research, that you remember, since this is formal research, you start with a capital letter, you end with a punctuation mark. What I also tell students is, in order for me to know exactly what your topic is, your topic must be in every single question. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in each individual question, but you need to have it in there. And if it's capitalized in there, you need to make sure it's capitalized. Now, let's start with this column right here. What keyword did I use to find my info? Now, guys, this right here is, if you have to look it up a certain way, sometimes it can change. I'm going to use, because I like to do World War II, I'm going to use some examples real quick. And to find my answer real quick for my question, I might have had to say World War II, or I might have had to say World War #2, or World War lowercase ii, or WW2, or WWII. How did I find my answer? What did I type in to find it? Because I might need to know that later if I lose my information. A citation is something that shows us where you got your information. This is a formal way to do it. We're going to talk more about that later on, but this is where you would place that. This one right here is going to be where you type your notes. It's that basically where you're putting the answer to your question. Now, when you do this, you'll notice that there are bullet points in each one. Here's why. Is because I don't want a full sentence answer. I want a bullet point. I want you to answer the question with no sentence necessary, and here's why. Plagiarism. We don't want you to take exactly and cut and paste anything. You don't cut and paste here at all. The only place you'll ever cut and paste is citation, but we'll talk about that later. So right here, you were only going to do a where you actually answer the question. If I ask, who was Adolf Hitler? I'm going to put right here, leader of German army, and then I can add other things if I want to continue on with who he was. So that's right here what we're going to do. There is no sentences needed. This is a quick answer on these questions. Now, I want you to go to the next part in your Canvas course, and we are going to move on to the first level 1 question.